And we're back. That's a great story, Dad. That's really important. Why is that so important? Well, this happens. There's this word. There's this word that we throw around, income. Nobody knows what it means. Um, but that gentleman you told the story about, he got slapped in the face, right?
Right.
He's going to work every day, collecting a paycheck. A paycheck is income. Collecting his paycheck, living life, doing the things he want to do. One day, just doesn't have a job, and he realizes, I don't have this income. I don't have that paycheck. What do I do? What do I do? And it's crazy because now you go from assets, right? From assets to I need an investment, right? Because an investment pays you something. An asset is just the value and it can go up and down. An investment pays you something. So he realized I need to make a change here. What am I going to do? How am I going to get this paycheck? How I don't have a job. How am I going to get my paycheck so I can have the lifestyle I continue want to have? And that's why we're always talking about income and how important that is. And so he was able to see that. He was able to see how important that was. And he made that decision to move forward. And now he can replace that paycheck that he used to get from his employer with a paycheck from his investments paying him. And it's great when you see the lights turn on in somebody's head, because what happens is, I was talking to somebody just the other day about this, and he was like, wait, so my assets, my investments are paying me. And I could say to you, send me that money, the money that my investments are generating, and it's coming in my account. I could just say, send me that money, and I can use that. And the investments, I don't have to sell investments. And their eyes get really bright because they realize what income is. When you need it, it's totally different.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. And I want to let our audience know you're listening to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Agemy. I'm Andrew Agemy, and my son Daniel is right here with us. And we're glad to be able to talk to you today on the new year, new opportunities. And in that example of the person I was speaking to yesterday, and he and his wife were having a difficult time. He had come to an adult ed seminar that I had done a few years ago, and he understood the concept of investing for income, but yet his money was still invested for growth. And, Daniel, that was great. You mentioned the aspect between investments and an asset. And many times people have assets, but they don't have investments. And what I would like to say to you and our listening audience is, think of assets and investments like this. You could buy a piece of real estate, let's say a bare piece of property, undeveloped property, and that would be an investment because you buy it, let's say $100,000, and you hope to sell it someday for $150,000 or $200,000. But it's not giving you anything until you sell it. Maybe the price goes up, maybe the price goes down, but until you sell it, it's really not doing anything for you, as opposed to buying a piece of rental property where you have the same thing going on. The rental property, the value goes up, the value goes down, but you get a monthly income from that you can actually use to buy a new boat, buy a new car, go on vacation, give you the money that you need in retirement to be able to live. And that's kind of the difference that we're talking about here. But there needs to be a well balance between both. In this example of we'll call them Pete and Sue, that Pete and Sue had knew that they needed to make a change. They weren't well diversified. They had a bunch of money in the aggressive end on the teeter-totter of all investments, the hope end. They had a good amount of money in the bank, essentially. But there was a full spectrum of the moderate and conservative areas on the investment teeter-totter that they did not have anything in. And they knew that they needed to do that, but they just couldn't pull the trigger on that. They're just having a hard time getting it into gear, so to speak. And, what we did was we talked about, if you ever seen the movie What About Bob with Richard Dreyfuss and Bill Murray, it was an interesting movie. And in that movie, Richard Dreyfuss, is a psychologist, writes a book called Baby Steps, and Bill Murray is a neurotic kind of guy that is scared of everything, and just gets a baby steps, just makes a move in the right direction. And by the end of the movie has all flipped around, and roles had changed. It's kind of interesting, kind of funny movie. But nevertheless, the point being here is that we trying to find out where could they start at, and in their aspect, I said, well, it's somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million, and we were talking about generating $40,000-$50,000 a year from $1 million, and that would help them significantly. But that was just a little bit of a stretch from their comfort level. So they decided on the $500,000 realm, and they still have another advisor out there that's handling the aggressive end at this point in time. And they're looking at, they're going to see how it happens. Just like one client that comes to my mind, that when he first switched from the aggressive to the income model, and he was still working and thinking about retirement, he says, Andrew, start sending me a check. I want to see how it happens. Start sending me that check. That's like you were talking about, Daniel, that guy that you were talking to. They said, you mean I can get this money in my checking account? I can receive a check? Said, yeah. So we were sending this guy a check. And then once it came time for retirement, he was very comfortable with that situation. That's why we talk about having 5 to 10 years before retirement to be able to get somebody situated in a way that can actually help them most effectively. Now, if you're actually in retirement or just right at retirement, still works, but the sooner the better from that standpoint. That's so these people were able to just make that move to do that. I want to remind you in our listening audience, so you're listening to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Agemy, and we're giving away a companion piece to our show today called Proactive Tax Saving Strategies. Proactive tax saving strategies. It's getting ready to do taxes for 2020, but this is a great time to be thinking about what you're going to do in 2021 to save for taxes and to save money on taxes. And one of those things that is significant, we encourage you to listen to our show on Roth IRAs, but being able to convert some money to Roth IRAs and pay the tax now so that you don't pay the tax later when potentially the tax rates will go up. But this piece, Proactive Tax Saving Strategies, is available to you by calling 800-725-7616, 800-725-7616. And we're having that available for you should you call. So call now.
Dad, you mentioned that real estate, you mentioned buying a piece of raw land and holding that as an asset. And then you mentioned, what if you bought a rental property, something that generates income? With the rental property, with the speculative land, maybe a government wants to buy it from you for some enormous amount of money, or maybe somebody finds a gold mine on it and wants to pay you enormous amount of money. So the potential there could be very big. But with the rental property, the value of that building could go up and your income can go up. But right. In the meantime, you get paid to own that because right. the property is paying you that income. Now, with the land, if the value goes down and becomes worthless, then you got this piece of land and it's whatever. At least it's a hard asset. It's not an asset that could go to zero, right?
Right.
With the investment property, if the value of that cut in half, you're still collecting income. Do you care that it cut in half?
No,
because you don't at all, because you're
right.
still collecting your income. And what do? You use that income, if you don't need it for your lifestyle, to buy more properties from the other people that are scared. Exactly. And that's when we talk about embracing volatility. When you're set up for income, not only can you maintain the lifestyle that you want to have in these volatile markets, but you can take advantage of situations. You can buy from the weak hands in the market.
Right. Exactly. And that's what we did in March, where we had people that had money that was safe money, and we took advantage of the opportunities that came available because of the market drop and that kind of thing, to be able to enhance their income, to give them more income than what they were having. And it's a beautiful thing when that works together. So indeed, volatility can be there is opportunity in volatility. We want to be able to help you to understand that, help you know what you don't know, so that you can have something to do with that. I see that we're coming up to where we need to be able to take a break, and I think we should probably talk about taxation on the next segment here as we wrap up for the day. But you're listening to Financial Strategies with Andrew Daniel Agemy. I want to offer you the companion piece, a paper that goes along with today's show, Proactive Tax Saving Strategies. And we're offering the book to the next 5 callers of Turning Financial Planning Right Side Up. Turning Financial Planning Right Side Up by Jeffrey Small. That's available to the next 5 callers at 800-725-7616, 800-725-7616. Call now.